Hello everyone, my name is Damien from DK Film Podcast. Today, we're doing another episode here on the podcast. Getting back on that weekly schedule, folks. Trying to keep back on the top of that weekly schedule. I know I was off for a while, but I'm trying to get back on top of that weekly schedule. Getting myself back in that algorithm, gotta do what you gotta do, guys. Stay on top of that hustle, that hustle. Gotta hustle and kind of hustling, But really, alright, I'm back. I'm gonna try to stay on top of the podcast as much as I can. The new way I'm doing these episodes right now is a lot easier, actually, than compared to how I was doing it before. And I'll explain that when we get to our first news episode, for our first news article. But, we also have, podcast, but I'm also going to say models might not be on top to as much as I can, but don't worry, we're going to get to that as soon as possible. The semester is getting crazy, but you're not here to hear me talk about my semester. You're here to hear me talk about film news. So, let's get on into that right now. Before we get started into this podcast, though, I would highly recommend checking out DK Film Studios. The first video is up there. I am planning on getting the director's cut up here. I actually have a director's cut. Actually, you might not believe it, but yes, I have a director's cut. So yeah, highly recommend checking this channel out if you are not subscribed. That is linked down in the description below. Highly recommend checking it out. Great channel. It's a really good channel. I highly recommend it. So, without further ado, let's get down on into this, shall we? So, before we get deep down into this, we're doing it how we kind of did with some of the articles we did last week, where I just spitball. I kind of read off the article. I kind of read it while I give you my thoughts as I kind of go through it. Kind of like the quartering, kind of like Tim Pool, to name a couple of people who do something like this. So, yeah, of course, I bet you they read the articles, but, I don't have time. Before I even recorded, I had dinner, and I worked on recording doing a script breakdown, which, oh my god, I am so glad I am just going to be a director, okay? Oh my god, I hate to be the person who has to do that part, alright? I hope it's not me. I don't think it's the director, but we'll see. I'll find out eventually. So yeah, let's get into this. So, from Variety, Jurassic World Dominion, my bad, resumes filming with legacy cast after positive coronavirus cases. Ooh, I didn't even know they actually had coronaviruses. Somebody got infected with the coronavirus until now. So, hey, interesting. So, Jurassic World Dominion has started rolling the cameras again. The UK-based production was cleared to resume filming after being shut down earlier this month due to a string of positive coronavirus cases on set. Director Colin Trevorrow shared a picture on Twitter of the veterans. Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Samuel were reuniting. Short caption back. According to the sources familiar with the production, filming never shut down entirely, and key cast members were working, mostly shooting secondary sequences during the hiatus. They began shooting main sequences again last Friday. Well, it's good to know that they at least, even though Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Samuel Sions got hit with the coronavirus, they are now back. They are able to go back, and actually, they're up and running again. They're healthy, and also that filming didn't just stop all overall. They were actually filming before everything. They were filming as things went on. And I'm gonna X this out because that's gonna probably get distracting for me at least. So yeah, Jurassic World cast and crew are back to work. So it seems like they're back to work. Sounds like. Here is his tweet. Which is good that they are back. The trio of actors starred in the Jurassic Park trilogy. We're standing in front of the late Pinewood dedicated to the late Richard Attenborough, who appeared in the original films. Attenborough died in 2014 at the age of 90. Neil Trevorrow's tweet added, "Remembering our old pal on the stage named for him as we face our ultimate dinosaur horror." Ooh. That sounds... that kind of gives me an idea of what we might get. Ooh. I like. So, Universal, the studio behind the popular franchise, recently postponed the release date for the upcoming film. The sixth Jurassic Park installment will hit... The sixth film will hit June 10th, 2022, which is 1 year later than originally planned. So it's... I forget when it was originally coming out. I have it probably somewhere written in my script. Not my script. Script's on the brain. But I have it somewhere in my... in one of my earlier episodes. That's why if you're watching this episode first, we're gonna be going back to watching the earlier episodes. We got there's stuff that connects to all the other ones. Jurassic World Dominion initially went back into production on July, and was the first high-profile movie to start shooting again amid the pandemic. Has approximately 3 more weeks of material left to film. That's good to hear. Numerous blockbusters, including The Batman and The Matrix 4, have resumed shooting in recent months. They're making a fourth Matrix? I haven't seen the Matrix movies, first of all. I have to watch them. They seem like they're really good movies. But haven't they told a whole conclusive story in one movie? In those 3 movies? What else is there to tell? I have no clue, but hey, I don't know. But also, it's good that they have 3 weeks of material left. So, probably 3 weeks from now, we'll probably have an episode where it's like, hey, they're done. They're done with filming. And I actually did an episode where, I think the episode I recorded, my first episode, or one of the episodes around there, actually was saying, hey, they're back in action. They're back recording. They're back filming. So, hey, just kind of jump back a bit to the previous paragraph. Film sets have been following strict safety protocols, including social distancing when possible, frequent coronavirus testing, and routine temperature checks. However, restarting production hasn't been without some setbacks. The Batman has to pause production for 2 weeks after star Robert Pattinson contracted the coronavirus. Yeah, I've heard things about that. What's going on with that production is a mess. It sounds like, from what I've heard. Netflix's The Harder They Fall with Idris Elba and Regina King recently had to halt production after someone tested positive, as did Dennis Quaid's Reagan biopic, which has been filming in Oklahoma. Along with Dern, Goldblum, and Neal, the cast of Dominion includes Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and B.D. Wong. The movie picks up after the events of 2018's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which culminated with the dinosaurs descending on Sin City. Which, yeah, that was the end credit sequence. Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like they're getting back into doing the more bigger stuff, like, their bigger important sequences, the bigger, the scenes that need, the crew. But it seems like they haven't stopped filming, which is good. That I like hearing. I like hearing that they're able to continue filming. Ignore that, if you saw that. Alrighty, so this is just, I have no idea what the hell news this is. Getaway ad, but Cher voices her own bobblehead in the new animated bobblehead. I don't even, do we have the link to that here? Yes, we're gonna look at it. Oh god, they have the, oh god, okay. Okay, they have that right there. Where is it? Do they actually have a link to the trailer? Okay, before I forget, this is obviously one that we're going to be I'm trying to think here how to best do this. Yep, okay. Added that to the... We'll look at this next, but let's read about this. Let's read about it first before we look at what might just be cancer. Alright, Cher, the goddess of pop and godmother of all to all us gypsies. Okay. Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves can take many forms. Oscar winner Meryl Streep's mom, tastemaker, burlesque club owner. It's the transformative power shell. Now, the queen of reinnovation has reinvented herself more, this time with a bobblehead. I don't even want to know what this is about, but we're going to find out apparently. We're going to learn as we read this article, and we're going to learn, and then we're going to learn as we watch this thing. Cher descends on down into the EW's exclusive look at bobbleheads, the movie trailer, in a puff of stage smoke and disco ball glitz. The singer-actress gets a big head from all this attention as a guest star voicing her own bobblehead in the upcoming animated movie. She's basically the guardian angel to a bunch of Toy Story-esque misfit bobbleheads, minus the pink bubble, plus one enlarged bobblehead. The pink bubble, what? And plus one enlarged bobblehead. When the toys humans go AWOL, they must defend their home from an unexpected guest. Two uninvited intruders who hope to swap a new baseball player bobblehead for a valuable one. That's when Bobble Cher steps in to offer some bobble wisdom. What the fork is this? Okay, I have no idea. You know what? I'm actually gonna make this the first thing we watch because I figured let's end on something good, and I haven't even looked at the other trailer. I haven't even looked at this one either. So you're gonna get my genuine reactions out of this. So you know, hey. Cher was the latest, was last seen in Mamma Mia movie sequel. Here we go again. After which she released an album of ABA covers called Dancing Queen. Don't really care. I don't really care about her music. I don't really care about pop. Pop is just whatever. It's not my type of music anyways. Also voicing characters are The Boys star Karen Fukuhara as a bobble named Ikoya. Dollface's Brenda Song as a skateboarding Bobble Kalani. Walking Dead's Kyrie Payton as Baseball Bobble Deuce. Warlocks Julian Sands as Cat Bobblehead Purbles. And Luke Wilson and General as the two trashy humans per an unofficial description. Earl and Binky. What? This is literally my actual reaction to this. What? This might benefit for me to actually read it, to actually have watched the trailer. But we will soon, folks. We will soon. Bobbleheads, the movie is directed by Beauty and the Beast Kirk Wise and produced by Mortal Kombat's Lawrence Kasanoff. Will be available on digital, DVD, and on demand from Universal's Home Picture Entertainment December 8th. It'll also stream on Netflix at a later date. Oh, good! So this is not going to go into the theaters. Thank God. The theaters do not need this, what sounds like an absolute trash fire. But on to something better. And one I fully support. Michael B. Jordan producing Static Shock movie for Warner Bros. and DC. Alright. Michael B. Jordan is giving a jolt to to Static Shock. You kind of like how I did. Hey, you guys subscribe to this channel because of me, or because of the quality content I'm giving you. All right, you guys are to blame, not me, for how I, with all what I do, all the randomness of me. It's your fault. All right, just deal with it. All right. EW has confirmed that the Black Panther star. Oh wow, Michael B. Jordan has played a number of superheroes. I just realized he's played a role in a number of superheroes. He's played Human Torch in the not so great Fantastic Four movie, Killmonger in Black Panther, and he seems like he's going to be playing a role in or at least helping with Static Shock. Producing a movie. So he's confirmed that he's producing a movie based on the DC and Milestone Comics character Static Shock, who became more widely known through the early 2000s animated series Static Shock. Oh, well, his name is Static, not... Okay. Hollywood Reporter first reported on the news. Get out of here! Static Shock would follow a high school student in Virgil Hawkins, who became a superhero. Static after exposure to a strange gas. Gives him electromagnetic powers. Jordan addresses the news on Friday with a coy treat on Static Shock cover, featuring a Static Shock cover. I don't care, EW. Huh? Not bad. Potential Static Shock film was announced in August during the DC Fandom event. Oh, I don't know if I picked up on that news, huh? I know I saw I know there was info. I know we covered a lot of info from the movies, from DC Fandom, after that all happened, so Announced in August, along with news that DC is relaunching the Milestone Media imprint. The label was founded in 1993 by a group of black writers and artists with the intention of bringing more minority superheroes to comics. This I'm okay with. Okay, I'm okay with what they were trying to do. They were trying to bring more representation of people like them in there. I've got no problem with that, alright? Like I said, as long as you give me good characters, I'm happy with that. As of my rant I had last week, in the previous episode, if you haven't watched that, go watch it. We actually have a couple articles talking and discussing about representation and how what Hollywood is calling for is not good. It's not the best type of. Is not what we should be looking for. Is here we actually have to look at. So what the heck is this phone? Sorry, I just noticed this phone off the side of my face, but. Back to this article. Okay, so I am proud to be part of building a new universe centered around the black superheroes. Our community deserves that. I'm inclined to agree. Alright, look, just give me good characters, okay? I don't care if they're white, black, female, male, I don't care. Whatever their skin color, race, sex, I don't care. As long as they are good, I will support your film. Wonder Woman was the film not Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was actually a good film. But, what's his face? Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was the film I did not like because it was just like, oh, men put me down. It's like, men are trash. It's like, oh, really, woman? Really? You say that, huh? You could have done something about that. Oh no, you couldn't have. Oh, okay, I'm sorry then. Okay, I want to leave, but I can't. Okay, whatever. So yeah, in DC Fandom panel where film development was announced, Phil Lamar, who voiced Static on the animated series, said, "Virgil is what I always wanted as a comic book kid, growing up. Black Spider-Man." Huh. I mean, I haven't seen the show, so I don't know, but I'll take his word for it. A good story can make you live it, feel it, and when it does it, and when it does, it resonates on a whole another level. It touched on archetypes as a comic fan that I loved, but also touched on my life as a black man in the real world. This, honestly, I feel like don't get me wrong, it's cool that that this guy was able to relate to this character. Like, trust me, if they wrote an autistic character who was a superhero, I don't know if there is any. I know in the live-action Power Rangers movie, there was a character, one of the actors was actually, I believe he was autistic, or at least they had the Blue Ranger be autistic. But to me, that means a lot to me, because it's like, I get to see someone who has autism on screen. Like, that means a lot to me. I love seeing that. Jordan will next appear in the thriller Without Remorse, which he also produced and is currently scheduled to be released next year. Alright. So yeah, I am totally down for that. I will support that 100%. So. Okay, can we stop shifting? Okay, I had it perfectly set up, and then you decided to mess with it. Alright? From Deadline, James Gunn talks about killing off characters in The Suicide Squad. Anything could happen. I like those moments. I like those feelings when you have anything could happen, you know. Those are fun moments. I love those kind. I like when that happens, you know. Before I get into the article, reminds me a good amount of Rogue One. Rogue One, like we all knew people had to die, you know, because they weren't mentioned, but anything could have happened. We didn't know how or what caused their death. It was, oh god, the movie was that was a good movie, Rogue One. Alrighty, hide RT cuz I don't care. Fans are on the edge of their seat in anticipation of James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which is set to open in theaters August 6, 2021. Sequel to David Ayer's 2016 supervillain pick. The movie has a robust cast of characters. That said, Gunn took to Twitter to address whether or not all of them will survive. The short answer is no. In a tweet showcasing the new cast pick on the cover of Empire magazine, Gunn asked, What two characters do you think are most likely to survive the Suicide Squad? A fan remarked that Harley Quinn, King Shark, and Amanda Waller are essentially protected and have franchise armor, while there's an 80% chance that all the other characters will die. Gunn responded, no character was protected by DC. Ooh. They gave me a carte blanche to do what I wanted. That was one of the things we agreed to before I came to work for them. I wasn't looking for shock value, but I wanted the audience to know anything could happen. Oh my god. So, Harley Quinn, King Shark, and Amanda Waller are also vulnerable. Can also die. Could also die in this. Ooh. Okay, I'm all giddy now. I'm excited to see this. As fans continue to speculate who will get killed and who will be spared in the new Suicide Squad movie, Gunn mentioned that he is curious who they think will survive. He also mentioned he didn't have time to tally the votes himself, as he has a TV series to work on. Of course, he is referring to the Suicide Squad Peacemaker series for HBO Max. I need to get back to. I need to see if my family has gone back HBO Max as the service, because we had it and then we lost it because we switched providers, TV providers. We're still in that limbo area, but it's like, okay. I did enjoy the service. I did enjoy it. I just wish I could, use it again. But when I do get my own place and all that, I want to buy myself, like, with my family. I don't know if you can hear. If she's occasionally being a bit loud because she's playing her game, but I mean, again, our house isn't. We haven't put stuff on the walls yet, so I mean, they might be able. My sister, if my family's home by this time, while I'm recording, they might hear me. So it's like, yeah, I don't blame them. So yeah, seeing how long we've been going for. Okay, so yeah, that'd be cool to see, honestly, if I actually have access to that. It should be noted that characters in the Suicide Squad comics would often die. In a year's iteration, we saw Slipknot perish almost immediately. El Diablo also sacrificed himself in the end of the movie for the greater good. Yeah, Slipknot just being there, it was like, what? He just died, and it was like, this guy served no purpose for the movie, other than to just die. Gunn's teasing of character deaths may follow the footsteps of Deadpool 2, which promised the appearance of many of popular Marvel characters, mostly in the popular comic book team X-Force, Heroes Bedlam, Shatterstar, Vanisher, Zeitgeist, and of course, the all-powerful Peter. I love Peter. I have yet to fully see the movie, but I've seen like parts of it on like TV, so I want to see the full thing, like actually the full thing, not like just saw it on TV. Deadpool's appeared, but with Deadpool 2's inverted charm, they were killed off as soon as they were introduced. Based on Gunn's own abilities to play with genre and irreverence, it would be surprising if he trimmed down the cast in the first act of the movie. Speaking of characters getting killed, Gunn isn't a stranger to offing beloved characters in the movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2, fan favorite Yondu, aka Mary Poppins, was sacrificed in Super. Boltai had a devastating death. Although these deaths were sad, Gunn has good reasons for killing them off. It's all to move the story forward, which is important, I will say. I'm just curious. I don't want to. Let's keep going if this is going to take for long. Last I checked, we were like a little over 20 minutes, 24 minutes. Might be a little longer now, but again, I just want to make sure. We've still got a good number of articles to go to, so this is going to probably be a little over an hour. Again, this is my sense of time telling me this might be over an hour, so, hey. I'll have to cut down a bit on the articles, but hey, so yeah. There are angry fans no matter what choice you make, Tweety Gun. I still get hate messages for Yondu dying or anything too, and Boltai and Super, yet their deaths were integral to the stories, and for the record, I get a lot more messages from folks saying how deeply those deaths affected them. Wow, okay then. As far as bringing characters back from the dead, especially Yondu, don't hold your breath. I guess sometimes you can bring your characters back in a cool way, but usually if a character dies, it's a meaningful part of the story. The character should stay dead. So, unless it's a flashback, Yondu will stay dead. As far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, everyone's just that kind of face. This is what I love James Gunn, because he knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to this. I don't want Iron Man to come back. I don't want Robert Downey Jr. to come back in future movies because of his sacrifice in Endgame. That, to me, that would ruin the sacrifice he did. That would one of the best moments in the film. It would have ruined it, in my opinion, and I don't want him to come back. I'd rather him stay dead. Although there's a lot of people who would rather him come back, I'm like, keep him dead. Although I don't know about if I've heard some things where he might come back in Black Widow, because that's like in between. Like, I've heard some other stuff about it that's going on in between, so it's like, But we'll see. So he added, it really sucks having to tell an actor you're killing a character they play, especially if they play the character in another film, or they didn't die in the George Race draft. Most of them do not want to die, but everyone I've told them has been mature about it, which is very good. As far as the cast who may or may not die in Suicide Squad, Viola Davis will reprise her role as Amanda Waller, while Joel Kinnaman will play Colonel Rick Flag, and Michael Rooker will play Savant. Fleur Borg will step into the role of Javelin, and of course Margot Robbie will continue to cause trouble as Harley Quinn. David Dastamachalian will see spots as Polka Dot Man. Diana Melchior will be Ratcatcher 2, Idris Elba will be armored as Bloodsport. As Bloodsport, Steve Agee will play King Shark. Maying Ni will portray Mongol, and Peter Capaldi will get Brainy as Thinker, and Alice Baraga will be Soul Saori. Rounding out a bunch is Peter Davis as Blackguard, Nathan Fillion as TDK, Sean Gunn, of course he's got to have Sean Gunn in there in every film, as Weasel, Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, and John Cena as Peacemaker. And here are his tweets. Alright, so we got one more thing. This time is related to Marvel. Shang-Chi wraps up filming. Simu Liu and director Dustin Daniel Creighton celebrate first Asian-fronted Marvel Studio superhero film. Honestly, I'm actually kind of interested to see where this film goes. I can't wait to see some footage for this movie. And we will be watching this movie, the trailer on this channel here. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is the latest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that has completed production. Simu Liu, the frontman of the upcoming superhero pick, as well as the film's director, Destin Daniel Creator, I'm probably butchering Daniel's name. I'm just gonna say Daniel, and I'm gonna say Simu. I might be butchering that as well, but at least it's easier for me to say. Enthusiastically announced that the film has wrapped production, which is good. We made a baby, declared Liu on Instagram with a pic of him adorned in lace. We can't wait to introduce him to the world in 9 months. Don't tell me it's going to take 9 months to do all the editing and all that. Creighton has also posted a picture of himself, his wife, Nikki Chapman, sister Joy Creighton, and actor Zhang Ming. And I think they have wrapped. In a private Facebook group, Subtle Asian Traits will explain the impact of the first Asian fronted superhero movie at Marvel Studios. For all of those who hated us because of the color of our skin, or because it feels us, or made us feel less because of it, no more. Leo wrote, "This is our movie, and it will be impossible for Hollywood to ignore us after this." Hopefully they don't. I mean, look, I'm gonna say this: when it comes to my studio, no one's gonna be ignored. But it's only if I need an Asian actor for it's because I need an Asian actor to play a character who's Asian. So it's gonna be to help play the role. Okay, we got this bit left here. Okay, so Shang-Chi is certainly a milestone in Hollywood, as it will introduce the world to the comic book character created by Marvel in the 70s as an answer to the TV program Kung Fu. In the comics, Shang-Chi is the son of China-based globalists who raised and educated his progeny in his exclusive China compound, closed off from off to the outside world. I don't know why I went in that accent, but hey. The son is trained in the martial arts and develops an unsurpassed skill. He eventually is introduced to the outside world to do his father's bidding, and then has to come to grips with the fact that his revered father might not be the humanitarian he has claimed to be. Back then, character was steeped in Asian Fu Manchu stereotypes, which would not fly today. I mean, it depends on what type of stereotypes we're talking about, but again, we'll see. Details about the plot of the big screen adaptation will have been kept under wraps, with the Asian team in front of and behind the camera, Shang-Chi will hopefully subvert those stereotypes associated with the original IP. I'm gonna say this with the team in front and behind. Hopefully they know what they're doing. I'm not saying like, look, they should have hired a white. No, they should hire whoever who knows what they're doing. Hire who they think they know, who knows what they're doing, who does the job. Don't just hire a man because they're Asian. All right, that's my only problem with it. But my only problem with this kind of stuff. But hey, that's just my thinking. I think the next articles are about diversity a bit, but in a good way. Kind of like discussing it. All right. Filming for Shang-Chi kicked off in February 2020. Oh God, okay. And like all productions, it was shut down in March due to the pandemic. Filming resumed in July. The film is set to hit theaters July 2021. Shang-Chi also features Awkwafina, Tony Leung, Michelle Yeoh, Ronnie Chieng. Marvel Studios, Captain Feige is producing the film, of course. Marvel's Lois Despacito, I have no clue how to pronounce that last name. Victoria Alonso and Jonathan Schwartz are EPs. And some people say they have trouble pronouncing my last name. Here is the picture. Another picture, the other picture that they mentioned. And yeah. Now onto a bit of Hollywood news. So, Hollywood agents navigate the complexities of balancing the demand of diverse voices and artistic freedom, which I agree. There does need to be a balance between diversity and artistic freedom. Sometimes artistic freedom needs to be more than diversity, than diverse voices, and sometimes diverse voices need to be more than artistic freedom. But it all depends on what it is you're trying to make, alright? Okay, I'm going to put my cursor right here. As studios seek creators who can tell tales from a personal perspective, unintended consequences can arise. Some people feel rooted in telling stories about their identity, and some people want to be seen as a filmmaker regardless of their gender or race. That is me. I don't care if you see me as a man. I don't care that you see me as a straight white male. I want you to see me as a filmmaker. Alright, that's what I want you to see me as a filmmaker. That's what I want you to notice about me, alright? So in 2020, Hollywood agents and managers who represent female and minority filmmakers are experiencing a mostly welcome, if not a long delayed phenomenon, lots and lots of incoming calls. Which is good that they're getting calls. Don't get me wrong, it's good that they're getting calls. I have seen an increased commitment and desire for directors and writers to have something in connection with the potential project, says ICM literary agency agent Ava Greenfield, who represents black filmmakers such as Regina King, making her directorial debut this year with Amazon Studios' Muhammad Ali film One Night in Miami, and Matthew Cherry, who sold a series based on his Oscar-winning short Hair Love to HBO Max in July. If, for example, the story is centered on a black woman, there is an initial commitment from buyers to find a black woman director or a writer for this project. Makes sense if it comes from this understanding that there has to be a lot just to be a connection with the material by a writer or director. But of course, I feel like a story could be made by, about a black woman by a white male or an Asian male or a Hispanic female. Like, again, a number of different things could be. You could do a number of. It doesn't just have to be one thing, Studios motivated by either a sincere desire to diversify the hiring and sense they're hiring a sense of genuine connection to make the lead material leads to be better storytelling, or the simple fear of being internet shamed. If that is being internet shamed, the people who are doing the internet shame probably won't even see the film. So that's what I'm not even gonna give a damn about these people who are internet shaming. Because look, if you're not gonna see the film, why bother? You know, I'm not gonna listen to what a mob on Twitter is gonna tell me what to do if they're not gonna go see my film. No. Being internet shamed are increasingly focusing on staffing films and TV shows about underrepresented groups with filmmakers and showrunners of those groups. Current projects that studios are hoping to produce populate with black behind the camera talent include Marvel's Blade, movie starring Mahershala Ali, which is looking for writers, and MGM Sam Davis Jr. biopic, which Liana Wive is producing. This approach represents a pivot from the way Hollywood used to do business, relying on a short list of mostly white, mostly male directors to helm a broad swath of material. As the marketplace evolves, a question agents have long asked themselves, they receive word for a new project, who should tell the story? Comes with new complexity. Again, I feel like don't get me wrong, it's good. I wouldn't mind if if a male who didn't have autism told the story about someone with autism, because for all I know, they might make something that's beautiful. Just beautiful, and I would fall in love with that film. Yet again, if someone who had autism told the story, I probably would enjoy it, you know? But again, we'll see. Get out of here, Lincoln Project. I don't care about you. People are very aware of the optics of authenticity, says WME agent Tiana Cohen, who represents clients including M. Night Shyamalan, Gianni Moane, since the pandemic and Black Lives Matter protests. More or less, but you know, there's been a real shift as studios studios are increasingly being conscious and judicious about finding voices to tell a story from a very authentic point of view. Some of that awareness has to come with the result of audience or critical backlash. A few years ago, movies black leads like Fox 2016 Best Picture nominee Hidden Figures and Warner Brothers 2016 John Robinson biopic 42 arrived in theaters with little scrutiny to see about their white male directors, which they should. I mean, they should have little scrutiny. Instead, they were mostly hailed for their inclusive cast and messages of uplift. In 2018, some critics lambasted Universal's Green Book for white filmmaker Peter Farrelly's reliance on racial cliches, but the movie still went on to win the Best Picture and earned $32 million at the worldwide box office. Now, again, you shouldn't go on to the filmmaker. Again, I don't know. I haven't seen Green Book. I haven't seen it. I don't know if I will. But it's up to the director. The director has to. He's going off the script. So if the filmmaker wrote the script, then he has to. Then he's at blame. But if not, then you know. We'll have to see, of course, you know. So let's continue on. But when red carpet interviews at the Mulan premiere in March revealed a mostly white production team working under a white female director, Nikki Caro, a headline on the Canadian pop culture website Flare.com read, "Live action Mulan is already making me mad." So what? A writer for the British newspaper Metro read, "I loved Mulan since childhood, but the remake is too white behind the camera." I don't care! I don't care if it's too white behind the camera. If the people who are making this film know what the flip they're doing, then let them do what they're doing. I don't care if they're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, transgender, gay, lesbian, whatever. Just, if they know how to make, if they're good at what they do it. I focus more on merit. Merit is what I'm at. Industry figures too have been signaling their discontent with a filmmaker doesn't seem steeped enough in a culture to direct a film about it. When news broke in September that Ron Howard would direct a biopic about a Chinese concept pianist Lang Lang, the farewell writer-director Lu Wang tweeted her frustration as classically trained pianist born in China. I believe it's possible to tell Lang Lang's story without an intimate understanding of Chinese culture, in the impact of the Cultural Revolution on Earth, in the intellectuals of the West, of the effects of the Western imperialism. Just saying. Well, there's this thing called looking it up. All right, what you're watching it on, it's connected to the internet. Yes. He could have looked it up. He could have gone to China. He could have learned about the history about this. He could have done everything he could have to have learned to gotten a good, rich understanding of it to have made this story. So, that's what I would do. If I was told, hey, we want you to make this film about this person, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go talk to some people about this thing, learn what I need to know about this thing, and we're going to go from there. Okay, we're right now at 46 minutes, so, But hey, okay, how long is this article? Okay, we're almost there. Oh, and this is the next article we'll be looking at as well. Actually, we're almost there. Some of the talent rep world said they would worry about the new expectations are limiting. These are writers who are supposed to be able to fictionalize stories that didn't exist from their brains, and we are curbing their ability to create, said one representative source. I agree. And some are beginning to steer their white or male clients away from projects that may become controversial because of their attachment. Yes, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. This is why I wanted to talk about this article. This article seems a little too... This article is important. This is very important here. Twitter and social media are the sole fear of the studios. Yes, Twitter and social media is both the best and worst thing to ever happen to us. I mean it. Okay. Says the representation source, we don't want to spend our clients' time on projects that the studios are going to shy away from. Exactly, but again, they shouldn't listen to Twitter. That's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to listen to Twitter. I'm going to listen to my fans. I'm going to listen to, what the people... I'm going to listen to the people who want to work on these. I'm not going to, listen to the crowd on Twitter. If white male clients are guided away from projects, that's just fine, say some agents with diverse clients. For 120 years, it's been assumed that a white man can direct a movie. Okay, and, says one agency source, the pendulum has swung the other way for so long. We are now living in a period where the pendulum swings too far to the other side. So be it. If we do go to the side where there's no white males directing anything or working on anything, I'm not gonna like that because I want to see myself. I want to be able to see a white character on there. Heck, even if it's a female character, I don't care. Some recent high-profile projects were a white storyteller is presenting a film or a TV show featuring a clear color. So Watchmen is one of them, as talked about, which features King as its leader. He kept a number of white men as his writer in his writer room to 4 of 12. Okay, makes sense. In Making Soul, which introduces Pixar's first black lead character, a jazz musician, director, and studio Pete Docter enlisted black playwright kept Powers to join the writing team. While the film was in development, Powers has a co-director credit on the film. At least, hey, with what Saul was doing makes sense. Hey, bring somebody on who knows what they're talking, who knows this, so we can have them help us make it better. I am perfectly fine with that. But some representatives say that the studio inquiries are getting so targeted by demographic, they are creating a whole new problem, pigeonholing the whole underrepresented clients. The push for diversity has been increasingly steady, but studios are asking for much more transparency now. Transparently now, says one industry source. Do you have any Mexican writers? It's very specific when the diversity asks are coming from, and it's not all clients want to be thought of that way. Some people really feel rooted in telling stories about their identity, and some people want to be seen as a filmmaker regardless of their gender and race. That is me. I don't care if you see me as a white male, alright? I just care that you see me as a filmmaker, alright? I want to tell stories. That's my goal in life. That's one of the things I want to do. I want to tell stories. I want to tell stories on film, books. Hell, if I get the chance to, TV shows, I'll take it. But again, I want to tell stories, okay? I don't want somebody to say, "Oh, you're not what we're looking for. We're looking for someone black." I'm like, but I could tell this story. Nope, we don't need you. It's like, fine, I'm gonna go get hired by somebody else then. Thank God I'm not going to Hollywood though. There's something that they said here. Mention something about representatives, underrepresented clients. So they mentioned something about being underrepresented people. Look, I know I'm probably never gonna get an autistic character on screen. All right, probably in a while. All right, maybe it's gonna be very hard for that. Am I upset about it? Kinda, but it's not something I'm gonna want to go ranting and raving at the Hollywood directors at. What I'm gonna do about it is I'm going to find characters that I identify with. Iron Man, great example. Anakin Skywalker, great example. Rey, Episode 7 mostly because I kind of really related to her more, but afterwards it kind of went downhill. But again, that's just how I am. But again, I haven't watched the recent. I need to rewatch those films again. So yeah, we'll be doing that at some point soon though. Optimus Prime, I relate to. Superman, Batman, all these characters I can relate to in some way. Find aspects of myself. Heck, find aspects of them that I might see myself in some way, or I might become, or I might, develop. Like Optimus Prime. I feel like because of Optimus Prime, I became a good leader, or I was a good leader, and I didn't realize until I liked Optimus Prime. So yeah. Some of the calls are perplexing. Like the company has sent a comedy script to an agent of a black female director whose body of work is dramatic because the comedy featured a black female protagonist, prompting the agent to wonder whether she should be grateful for the submission or point out the obvious mismatch in his ability. Yeah, I agree. We need to make sure directors know what they can work on. They're like, hey, you're an autistic. You're autistic. You're someone with autism. They come to me and be like, hey, you're someone with autism. I'm like, yeah. Here's a script. This isn't my thing. And be like, but you want to sign on to it? No, this is not science fiction. I do science fiction. Mostly. As we start making this outreach, studios are finding that people of color have interest in telling all kinds of stories. No shit! You don't say! It's not necessary just telling stories featuring trauma on screen. Black people are so interested in comic books, superheroes, and interesting stories of black people. So, makes sense. I would love. I don't want to just see trauma. I want to see. I'm someone who look. I don't yeah. Okay, let me restart that point. Look, I like science fiction, yeah, but I like all forms of science fiction. I love the big space epics. I love post-apocalyptic futures. I love there's so many different types of science fiction. It's not even funny. But again, I love all science fiction. All right. And of course, comic book movies too, and sci-fi, and fantasy as well. So hey, studios are overcorrecting to the point of sending any project to any demographic appropriate, a demographically appropriate filmmaker, regardless of the person's creative interest. That's the side effect of the industry's long-standing pattern of exclusion, said some agents say. Agencies it shouldn't be. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be matching them with what they want. Like, if I say I want to do science fiction and they give me a script for a biopic, I'm going to be like, okay, I want to do some major rewrites. We're going to need to make this a size. We need to make this in space. Maybe, like, set it in the future. And like, oh, they're like, no, this is a biopic of an autistic person. I'm like, no, I'm making this science fiction now. The agency source notes, it speaks to the systematic failure of the business to have nurtured more than these kinds of filmmakers that sometimes say, you'll just put someone on the list because they're black or female. Yeah, true. It says something about that, Let me see how long. Okay, this is a fairly short article. And we have 5 articles and 2 trailers. And how long have we been going for, folks? Almost an hour. I'm going to try to go as quickly as possible. Let me actually real quickly see. Okay, these articles might be short, actually. This one's probably... I'm going to try to skim through these articles, actually. Okay. Deaf filmmaker Dilbert Wheater details on why the entertainment industry is looking at inclusion the wrong way. Let's read what he's got to say about this, alright? The question of who should tell stories of marginalized and underrepresented voices has been much discussed, sometimes leading to heated stances over artistic freedom, cultural appropriation, and accusations of censorship. Such discussions are poorly served when they center on a zero-sum proposition that suggests that one must make sacrifices for others to make gains, and incorrect framing to undermining the important lessons. As a deaf filmmaker and frequent industry consultant, I am a member of an exceptionally underrepresented group, people with disabilities. I agree. Yes, I am one of those as well. I am a member of someone with disabilities. But it isn't here. Nearly 20% of the population, but so deeply marginalized that we are virtually hidden from the media. Our depictions on screen often entirely through the lens of the observer, who lack any sensible semblance of our experiences. While there is an artistic culture and merit in telling stories of an outsider's perspective, the problem is when the outsider's perspective has become the dominant narrative to such an extreme degree that extinguishes what little oxygen remains of authentic voice to thrive. Can we really argue that the art of cinema is better served when no room is left for artists to participate in their own cultural stories? I can agree, look, we should have artists to, participate in their own cultural stories, but it's also important that we should have artists be artists. If I'm a white man and I am given a script about a black man starring in a science fiction film, I'm going to tell that story as best as I can, alright? 99% of the stories about people with disabilities are written film directed, edited, and performed, and controlled entirely by people without disabilities, leading to the demand of nothing about us without us, for good reason. Dominant outsider narrative displacing an authentic voice can promote stereotypes or inauthentic representation, further stigmatizing or eroding opportunities for the underrepresented, with harmful effects on employment, education, and services. We should be asking not who gets to tell the stories, but who these voices are going who the voices are going unheard, and what can we do to elevate and amplify those voices. The unfortunate consequence of leaving so little space for authentic voices means that the demand for them is crushed as well, with disastrous results on the talent pipeline in our industry. Respectability, Film Independent, and the PGA are developing pipelines through labs and workshops, yet no amount of training and mentoring can help with the demand of authentic voices. Voices is stifled. For the few and far between opportunities where our culturally proficiency gives us the benefit and valuable storytelling insights, we ask the same opportunities that filmmakers make the dominant perspectives that have had to ply our trade to hone our skill. Honestly, look, I agree, but look, a part of me is like, just let artists be artists. This whole cancel culture thing, and the whole thing with what's his face, like the whole thing with the people on Twitter who are like, oh my god, this movie is made by a white male. Ugh. It's like, it's annoying. I really dislike it. I don't like that they are trying to dictate how our films are made, but it's whatever. Okay. So, let me see how long we've been going for this. Almost a little over an hour. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of hit through these real quick, and then we're going to watch the trailers, because I got to get this edited and uploaded. Alright? So, new rumor reveals that a dangerous foe will come to face Captain Marvel's face Shazam. Let's see. Let's see if we can find info here. Okay. So this planned triple threat in the form of the three faces of evil, but there's a twist. There is a twist in the vein of Macbeth. First of all, it's great that we know that the upcoming movie is called Fury of the Gods. Well, they're making a Battlestar Galactica movie. Could this be a reboot or something else? Or starting a whole new, could it be something else? I don't know. Claims that Zack Snyder wanted Hal Jordan to be Green Lantern in the Justice League. Sounds like they wanted Green Lantern to be in the DCEU. Alrighty. Let's see, what is this article about? Joe Manganiello to return as Deathstroke in Justice League Snyder Cut. Get out of here. I thought I got rid of these ads. And the list of movies that are coming out. Let's actually find the list. God damn it. The Last Vermeer. Okay, so War of Grandpa, Yellow Rose, Honest Thief, Two Hearts, The Kid Detective, The Empty Man, Connected. That's all coming out in October. Although when did this article come out? Oh. Okay then. November, Let 'Em Go, Jungle Land, Comeback Trail, Freaky, Vanguard, The Last Vermeer, Crude the New Age. December, Nomadland, All My Life, Wander Darkly, Free Guy, Wild Mountain Thyme, Death on the Nile, The Father, Wonder Woman 1984, News of the World, Truffle Hunters, Promising Young Woman, Monster Hunter, Coming to America. And that is that. Now into the trailers. Oh boy, I am not ready for this. And hey, I believe we talked about Microsoft Azure or something like that for films. But hey, let's see what this is all about. Oh wait, hang on. Before, I almost forgot. Again, second time. I almost forgot. I gotta start. The Audacity. Audacity is now going, and we should be good to go. Nope. I accidentally paused Audacity. Now we should be good to go.
Unbelievable. You're playing at a time like this?
When the family's gone,
Our humans have gone AWOL!
Why are we standing here?
the bobbleheads are on.
Let's not let our prototypes give us a big head. Oops, too late.
Hiya!
Meet Ikioi,
Help me!
What is this?
Kalani, Deuce, and Purbles.
I'm done residing with inferiors.
With guest star Cher
Hey, Bubbles, how's it going?
in
The
a
fuck
brand new
is this?
adventure.
Anybody home?
They're attempting to penetrate the perimeter.
The key.
Stand back. I'll extinguish them.
Take that, intruders.
With 2 uninvited guests,
Ooh la la. Certainly beats living in a cramped double wide.
time to shake things up.
Stop that bubbling!
Earl,
Lord made dirt, it don't hurt.
Binky,
Trey Magnifique.
It's our duty to defend the house.
let's go, team.
Yeah!
This thing's safe.
They're cool,
Absolutely not.
Well, looky here.
they're courageous, they're collectible. Bobbleheads the movie, available on DVD and digital December 8th, rated PG.
Bobble hug.
Okay. As you can tell by my face, this thing looks stupid. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it be? I'm just... Let's move on from this disaster and go on to this, because I kind of should have been wanting to look at this. Well, real quickly. Look at the like to dislike ratio. Oh my god. This showed... Oh. Comments are turned off. Good. You know, actually, I'm gonna pile on that. It deserves it. It deserves it. I should quickly mention, we're now watching Raya and the Last Dragon.
Clever. Psst. Tuk tuk. Focus. Give me some shell. I gotcha.
Interesting.
life, I trained to become a guardian of the Dragon Gem. But this world has changed. And its people are divided. Now, to restore peace, I must find the last dragon. My name is Raya. Chuck. You're getting a little too big for this, bud.
I like what I see here. I like what I see here. It looks really good. Well, it looks good. I kind of feel like it's gonna talk a bit. It's gonna kind of feel like it fits a bit with our time with how the world is right now. Because I mean, it is a bit, you know, our world is a bit divided. I mean, at least America is. But I mean, again, hey, this is done by Disney, so I mean, hey, this is probably gonna be a good film, anyways. At least a good animated film. I mean, they're going. It's good to see another animated film by them. Thank God, another animated film is what we need from them, not these live-action remakes. More animated stuff, the better. Am I right? I should hopefully be right, you know. But, yeah. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, I have not seen any new movies as of late. So, yeah, I've been busy with college, you know. College is very important for me right now, but I mean, at least I'm able to pump stuff out like this for you guys, you know. Yeah. Before we wrap up, check out DK Film if you have not already. Highly recommend checking it out. It'd be greatly appreciated if you could check that out. Also, hit that like button. Check out what we have to offer here on DKBrickStudios. That would be greatly appreciated if you could check that out. Also, watch some of the other episodes we have here at DK Film Podcast. We've got 6 other episodes. I think I'm still not verified on that. Let me try that again. I think I'm not. Brain. This is where my brain stops working. I think I'm still not verified on Subscribestar. Last I checked, I wasn't. If I am, I will happily start. I'll start uploading these episodes on there in full, and then I'll start doing clips on here on YouTube. It's doing all full on there. But yes, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you, recording this for you guys. Please remember, I said like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. Check out my friends on Rise, link that in the description down below as always. Also, hit me up on my socials, link to those in the description down below as well. Also, watch my, you know, I feel like there's something else I need to say. Alright, that might be it. This is Dane from DK Film Studios. Sign up for the worst and the further as you always. I'll see you all in the next video.
Chasing the dark from the night.